it still remains so tight at the top of the table. Mike Grella at the beginning of the season gave his predictions for the entire table, and now, Grell, we're going to give you a chance to revisit it. So let's just have a quick look at what you did say at the beginning of the season to refresh our memory.
Most impossible league, by the way, to sort of predict. Here I had Pisa, Verona, and Cremonese. I didn't know enough, being honest, about Cremonese there, and they had a really hot start to the season. So we're going to see my new updated table, and we're going to have them moved out of that position. Pisa, better than I thought as well, but they're still going to, I think, remain in that situation. We're going to look at the next few teams here. I think the one that probably jumps off the page is Sassuolo. Sassuolo has a really good team, and they play really good football, and they understand. Fabio Grosso is the coach there. They have Berardi. He's been injured of late, but a team that really understands how they're going to play football. They were fantastic in Serie B. And then these teams are going to be fighting. Obviously, Udinese, the one that probably is the outlier. That's a little bit better than this group of teams here. And we're going to look at the top half now. And in the top half, Bologna, Fiorentina, Lazio, Atalanta, Como. Obviously, Fiorentina. Who could have thought it, right? When Pioli joined at the beginning of the season, you look at the roster, you think, okay, good players. Also, Pioli said, oh, they think we're not going to make Europe. Oh, we're going to teach them. So I'm like, okay, here we go. This is a team that's going to be fighting for Europe. They've been great since we've been covering them for the last 4 years. So Lazio didn't have a transfer window. That's why I had them there. Atalanta, not sure about Juric. That's why I had them there. And then Como, a team that spent 100 million plus in the transfer window. It was just hard to believe that they were going to break those boundaries, and then Bologna, obviously, in sixth. And then we're going to look at the top five now, which I think is the most difficult to sort of understand. For me, there's a three at the top. There's a Napoli, Inter, Milan that are teams that can do it in the Scudetto race, and then there's a Juventus, Roma that are better than this group below from 6 to 10. And they're just going to keep fighting for the Champions League spot. Whether Italy gets a 4th or 5th spot, we'll see. But I have, in the beginning of the season, I had Napoli, Inter, Milan. Now, I will also say...
There's a caveat.
I will also say, I have Napoli at the top because this was before August 14th when Lukaku got hurt. When I found out Lukaku got hurt before the season started, I switched Inter back to the top spot.
Yeah.
So, but this is what I had going into the season.
Okay, and you had Juventus in 4th, just rounding out the Champions League places. Who knows? Maybe they'll get an extra one at the end of the season, but that's it as of right now. Okay, let's have a look at the updated one then, because Fiorentina is probably the biggest one that would be the move down, but you haven't got them in the relegation zone.
No, I don't have Fiorentina in the relegation zone. It's just hard for me to believe that a team with that amount of resources, history, the club that it is, can't figure it out in this much time.
No, I'm just going to stop you there. You're never too good to go down, Grella.
Why?
It doesn't matter about the history in the club. You're never too big.
West Ham.
I'm
just saying, no, because there's greater clubs as well. We had a conversation earlier today about Sampdoria, how much of a big club Sampdoria is in Italy and where they are going. You're never too big to go down. So for me, from what you've seen, Fiorentina, for you not having them down there still.
So would you have them, Nigel, in the relegation zone?
I would.
Yeah.
I really am worried.
They're going to go down.
I think they would. I really do.
One win through 17 match days is not promising, but also it's hard to believe that a team, again, with the amount of resources that they have, that they're not going to attract a little bit something in January and be able to push them up. I have Parma down there as well because they came in with a young coach, a very young team. They sold the spine of their team, so I have Parma sliding down those areas. More of this is much of the same. Notable is Hellas Verona getting out because I do think there's a toughness to them. They play good counterattacking football. They squeaked out last year. I think they have the DNA to do that. Cremonese obviously falling back down to earth in the 14th position. Fiorentina, I have them at 15th. I have them getting out. I have them making sort of a fight for it.
He just spoke about a relegation fight, attracting players, how hard it's going to be to go into the dogfight, and you've got them out with 1 win so far this entire season, 2 at 10-men Udinese. But okay, I'll let you have it.
I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if Fiorentina go down. I think they figure it out. I think they have a large enough sample size now to figure it out, especially now that they have the new sporting director as well. I don't see it. I think they're better than these teams below them, especially roster-wise.
Still 20 games to go in Italy as well. So there's 18 played. It's not even halfway yet.
60 points available.
Yes.
Yeah.
The mathematician.
Easy said than done for someone who's had a few relegation fights himself. Okay.
He's the expert now.
I still carry those scars.
I mean, we've been in that boat. We know it's hard work.
Okay, let's have a look at the top half then.
And she reopens them every week, by the way, my relegation scars.
You actually brought it up first in 2026.
Goes in the back room. Piazza, can you find another relegation stat for Grella? So here I have Sassuolo, Lazio, Atalanta, Como, Bologna. It's very similar. I have Atalanta moving slightly forward with the addition of Palladino, but I think still they have some battles to fight. They have struggled to score goals. We'll see if Scamacca can help them with that. Lazio, just tough team to play against, but again, without the transfer window, they don't have a lot moving forward. Now they're losing Tati Castellano, who's a very important player player for them. Sassuolo in the same spot, Bologna in the same spot, and then there's just a little reshuffle of the top 5 that we'll take a look at. And the only shuffle I have, if I'm not mistaken, is the Inter Napoli, which, by the way, like I mentioned earlier, this would have been exactly the same top 5 that I had starting the season.
But Lukaku's almost back.
Milan going, Milan in third. I have Milan in third.
You don't see Milan being able to win the Scudetto this year with the whole benefit of not being in Europe, where Inter and Napoli are in Europe, and with all the players and injuries, they're still kind of struggling with that.
Yeah, and I learned my lesson last season, because not being in Europe is huge, because Napoli was not the best team in Italy last season, but not playing in Europe helped them big time. It's helping Milan also. I don't know if you watched the game yesterday. My eyes were bleeding watching that game of football, and it has to be said, Milan were so poor. They don't want the football. What's that?
They still got the win.
They still edge by.
Yes,
Cortomuso,
exactly.
Allegri style, Cortomuso, they got the job done. We'll see where they are at the end of the season. I think there's a massive learning curve there as well. Napoli and Inter have something more than the other teams, for sure. Inter, we know, they score the most goals, they play the best football, they actually push the game attacking-wise. They have really good players in the attack. They can field 2 teams and probably be still in the top 6 in Italy. Right. And then Napoli, we know Antonio Conte, and we know what they bring, obviously, with their
Inter's results this season haven't been great against the top teams.
Will they bring you out here just to fight with?
I'm just asking you a question. You've got to justify it for me. Inter haven't been great against the teams that they're competing in for Serie A, so how do you favour them to go on to win the Scudetto?
They have too many tools. They have too many good tools. They could field 2 teams, like I said, and still be in this conversation.
Yeah, but you boys just said you're concerned with the back line in the last segment.
Yeah, that was me. I said I'm concerned with the back line. I think Grella is with his emotions right now and his love for Inter.
You also said this is a worry.
This is why we see the parity in Italy. No team is close to being perfect at all. But we're also, when we talk about Inter, talking about a team that made Champions League final 2 times in 3 years. Also,
we're also talking about a team that you picked to win 3 seasons in a row and they still haven't done.
And they won 1.
And he's picking them to win again this season, and we're going to see.
But the quality disparity in these teams, when we're talking about ball on the ground, playing good football.
We're not talking about that, Grella, because you know the best teams don't always win.
Inter are the best.
He's talking with his heart and his love for what he sees.
Who do you think is going to win the Scudetto?
I think Milan. I still will back Milan. They're getting the job done. I'll question Juventus finishing 4th. I would not be worried about putting Roma or Bologna above Juventus still. I think that's still going to be tight, but I think they'll advantage Milan. I think Milan are going to be there.
Thanks for watching this video from our CBS Sports Matchday coverage. For more analysis and for all of the games, including Serie A, EFL, as well as a full suite of UEFA club competitions like the UEFA Women's Champions League, sign up for Paramount+.